Assalamu alaikum students. How are you? I am Wahid Shah for another lecture for all of my students, 8th Cambridge. This is week 6. Okay, now this topic is for week 6. Creative writing. Okay, in the creative writing, our topic is narrative essay. So, how we will deal with the narrative essay writing. Okay, first of all, before beginning to the main topic, first we should discuss about how to write a narrative topic. Okay, narrative writing. Okay, first there is that nailing the craft of narrative writing. Good narrative writing skills are hard. As you all know, they build on and encourage the development of a good grasp of the mechanism of writing. They also require the development of an additional skill, okay, namely the ability to tell a good yarn. Telling stories is as old as humanity. We see and hear stories everywhere and on a daily basis. For having a good gossip on the doorstep with a neighbor in the morning to the advertisement that bombard us from billboards and radio on our daily commute, much is made of the art of storytelling. Okay, now the next thing is, what is a narrative writing? Okay, what is narrative? So narratives are popular genre for students. Okay, it provides the writer with an opportunity to share their imagination, creativity, skill, and understanding of nearly all elements of writing. On occasion, we refer to a narratives as creative writing or story writing. The purpose of a narrative is simple: to tell the audience a story. Okay, students, I hope you are getting it. The purpose of a narrative writing is very simple, that is, to tell them a story, to tell your reader a story. It can be written to motivate, educate, or most commonly entertain. Narratives can be both fact or fiction. Fine. Okay, so the next thing is, narratives are highly diverse genre of writing. Fine. Unlike other genres of writing, narratives consist of many subgenres. There are many subgenres of narrative writing. What are that? Adventure, fairy tales, myth, love story, drama, fable, legend, science fiction, fantasy, mystery, okay, comedy, tragedy. These all are the diverse genres of writing. Understood? Now the next thing is that structuring your writing time effectively. Okay, when editing, okay, when editing a narrative writing, read it for 3 times. Okay, 3 elements. When editing a narrative, read it for 3 elements. First is spelling and grammar. Okay, is it readable? Understood? Then story structure and continuity. Okay, now you are writing your you are the student and you are writing your narrative writing. Okay, narrative story. So keep in mind these 3 things, 3 elements. First, spelling and grammar. Okay, now can anyone else read your words, okay, or your grammar, understand your grammar? The next, story structure and continuity, does that make some sense? Okay, and then the third is characters. Are there any characters in your story or plots? Are your characters engaging? Does your problem resolution work? Okay, now these are the things which you must keep in mind while writing a narrative writing. Fine. Now the next is tips for writing a creative writing. Okay, great writing. What is what are the tips? First tip is, set the scene and engage your audience early with the well thought out character and setting. Okay, this is the first thing. You should just keep in mind that while you are writing, while you are making a that designing or creating a story, you must keep in mind that setting is important. Setting means the place, where and when. Okay, the setting of a story often answers two of the central questions of the story, namely the where and the when. The answers of these two important questions will often be informed by the type of story the student is writing. Like you are writing, this setting of the story can be chosen to quickly oriented the reader to the type of story they are reading. For example, a horror story will often begin with a description of a haunted house on a hill or on an abandoned asylum in the middle of the woods. If we begin our story on a rocket ship hurtling through the cosmos on its space voyage on the Alpha Cartrio star system, we can be fairly certain that the story we are embarking is on the work of science fiction. Okay, so setting of the story is very much important. Then the next is introduce a problem or a like okay, the next thing is that introduce a problem or complication that causes an issue which gives your story purpose. Now, when you are writing a story, there must be something, very much different. There must be a complexion in there. There must be a changing, okay, changing of sequence. There must be a kind of what we call climax in your story. Okay, you should provide a problem. Okay, like if you're writing about your own life, you can give your own problems, like what were the problems you faced in your life, or while you're writing while creating a fantasy story, there must be something which entertain the reader, which give the reader a question, a thought, okay, that what will come next. Like in the episodes or dramas in the movies, we come to know that there is a kind of intermission in the middle of the story. Okay, so try to recreate that kind of uh, like creativity. Okay, then entertain us. Like narratives are the most popular of all styles of writing. If you can't entertain the readers, it means you are not going to be a successful writer. Okay, these are the tips for writing a great creative writing. So next, it's a organizer for all of the students. You might have that got this earlier in the school. Okay, so I'm just giving you the sample. Okay, just you can make a sample for yourself on a copy, on a paper. Okay, then these are the important things which you just write on that. This is for your rough work. Okay, before starting your that story, you must do some homework. Okay, rough work. So like orientation, set the scene and mood. Okay, usually includes like setting, when, where, who, what. You have to just make notes of that. Fine. Then complication, dilemma or problem. I told you about the problem. You must mention the problem in this for in some lines. Then sequence of events. If you find some events in that, if you want to just uh, lengthen your just make it big or make it just lengthy, then you should provide some events in that. Okay, describe the events, what were the events and what comes next. Okay, like in the episodes we just read or in the books we just find there are chapters. So chapters means the events are going on. Then the resolution, climax or ending where the problem is resolved. Then you must be just your story must have an ending. Okay, before, without ending you cannot complete your story. Fine, I hope you have understood this organizer. Then the next thing is our topic. Okay, now after detailed discussion about our topic, narrative writing, just let's discuss about our own topic, that is welcome to my life. It is a narrative writing. Okay, now you must start with the introduction. Okay, just give a small introduction, a brief introduction of 4 to 5 lines. Like you want to tell about yourself, so first of all describe yourself. Who are you? What do you do? Okay, whom you want to address, like I am just name a student. I am uh, Fawad, and my name is Fawad, and I am studying in 8th grade. Okay, this is a small introduction. This you don't want to mention your school or grade, just tell him this. Today I am going to tell you about my life, and in my life there are some ups and downs. So I will share some of the just true stories with you. I hope you will like enjoy my stories. Okay, this is the introduction. You should just provide it with the introduction. Then you can add childhood memories because that is your own life, so you can add your experiences, life example experiences. Fine. Then some important events which are still memorable. I told you that that can be a marriage party. Okay, or your birthday party, or some like good events or bad events, whatever they are, just you can find those incidents useful for your story. Then the last is the turning point, like climax. Okay, what were the turning point, like when in the 5th grade I was not good in studies, so once my father just scolded me and chided me, and then I started, okay, taking much interest in the studies. That was the time when I found a change in my life. So this can be a turning point of your life. You can add uh, of your own. Then there are some tips, okay? While writing your story, there are some tips. The first tip is think about who is going to read your story. If you're just writing for your family, the story might be different than if you were writing a story to be read by the general public. Think about whether or not you want to change people's names. If your life was a harsh one, you may not want to include the real names of the people involved. Like if your life is harsh, so you can change the names of the characters. Fine. You may also want to consider whether your life story could be written as fiction or not. There is an old, okay, a age that real life is better than fiction. Maybe your story could be written in fiction form. Okay, that is the first point. You should think that while writing you about yourself, okay, just you can change the characters. Then just start writing. Okay, write down everything you can think of that you want to include in your story. As the this point, the reader does not necessarily matter. Okay, the order does not necessarily matter. Getting the memories and the information down does. Writing the scenes of your life, okay, write scenes of your life that you want to include in your story on different sheets of papers. Since all of your scenes are written up or written out separately, you can later rearrange them into an order later on. Like first of all, write about your stories, later write about your life stories, then you can change the scenes, okay, later on. That's the next part. First of all, just write everything, then decide how to organize your story. Do you want to tell it in chronological order? Do you want to focus on one aspect of life? Do you want to go back and forth between the old days and the present time? Once you decide on your order, then you can go back and rearrange what you have already written. Okay? Then the next thing is choose a theme. Fine. Choose a theme. Is there something you want to enlighten people about? Perhaps your family owned a farm or a restaurant and you want to share your experiences through that, where someone who entered your life changed your life and resolved your problem. Okay, so just find out a theme if you want to write a perfect essay. Then use friends and family. While you might not remember every detail about a certain event, I guarantee someone who was there does remember. Asking family and friends for ideas or details of a certain situation can give you a complete different perspective of event or entire or time in your life. That perspective might prove to be invaluable in your writing. Be prepared. Once you get a group of family and friends together to reminiscence, you will be shocked at how quickly the ideas come and how one idea can spark another or and another and another. Fine. Then the last is that add a range of emotions. Don't let your entire story be depressing. Even if your story was not a fairy tale, make sure to include some bright spots of your life of hope and humor. Share some bright spots of your personal history along with emotional or psychological, okay, healing by that person. Maybe your life was just a circus act from the beginning and that is funny. Fine. These are the tips while writing about your story, that is welcome to my life. Then, okay, add more details about your own life and personality. You can add informations like about your own life, like you have been very much funny and you have been very much humorous to your family and your brother, and each and every one of your family loved you, okay, and still love you. Then you can also write about your important achievements, like in school or in your life, in anywhere you have achieved something. You can also add that information in your life, okay, and then you can simply write about your life events that's need to be told. I told it, I just described this earlier, so it's not important to just revise it again. Then now come to the vocabulary. There are some vocabulary, okay, just you have to read it. These the vocabulary are inshallah will be useful for all of you. Just you will use them in your this if possible in your writing. Okay, I think that these will be very much useful for you. There are about 16 words or 17, I guess. So just I'm just leaving it for you people just to keep in mind and write it in your copies. Okay, then you can may use it in your essay. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much. I hope you have understood the story. I need your story in that Google Classroom. Let